every sign's strongest hours today, and the one stretch that suits routine work rather than fresh starts are both coming in this reading. Welcome and a warm good morning to you. Before we begin, one thing that matters. These readings are based on your Vedic moon sign, the sidereal moon, not the sun sign you may know from newspapers. If you listen to the wrong sign, the guidance will feel slightly off. Readings today are from your moon sign. The link below finds yours in 10 seconds. Now, today's shape anchored to New Delhi. It is Friday, the 7th of August. The Tithi is Krishna Navami, running until 4:37 in the afternoon, and the moon travels through Kritika until 6:43 in the evening. A steady, clarifying influence. Rahu Kala falls from 10:46 in the morning to 12:26 in the afternoon, a good window for continuing work already underway rather than opening something new. Aries, today your attention turns homeward and what you value quietly gets clearer. Yesterday, the moon opened in your first house of self and vitality, so your instincts likely read the room easily and you carried the day without much effort. Today, the moon sits exalted in your second house, the house of money, possessions, and what you actually value. So, this is a good window for tidying your accounts or naming one thing worth saving toward. Venus, your period lord, sits debilitated in your sixth house of daily work and service, which simply asks you to keep tasks small and finish them one at a time rather than in one heroic sweep. In relationships, Aries, that same gentleness serves you. Say less, listen longer, and let someone else set the pace this Friday. Your ruler is Mars, and courage reaches you before caution does, which is a real strength when it is aimed at something worth building. For energy, keep the heavier decisions clear of the stretch from 10:46 in the morning to 12:26 in the afternoon, and let the evening carry the softer work. The homeward pull settles best in one small act. Say the encouraging word you have been meaning to say, unasked, expecting nothing back. Move through today at your own pace. It is the right one. Taurus, today the sky settles right on top of you, and steadiness is the gift you get to work with. Yesterday, the moon sat in your 12th house of rest and letting go. So, a quieter, more inward rhythm was likely all you had to give. Today, the moon transits your own sign, exalted in your first house of self and vitality, which means how you carry yourself lands well. At work, Saturn in your 11th house of gains and networks casts its full third aspect. So slow, honest follow through with your circle serves you better than speed. Hold one decision until after 4:37 in the afternoon and you will feel the clarity I am pointing at. In relationships, Taurus, Venus, your own ruler, moves through Virgo in a debilitated state in your fifth house of joy and creativity, so warmth may arrive plainer than usual. Say the simple thing kindly. For energy, this Friday supports gentle pacing rather than long pushes, and the Kritika Nakshatra holds until 6:43 in the evening. You build slowly and you build things that hold. So let the day close as it opened. Quietly do a small chore that was never yours and tell no one you did it. May the day meet you kindly and leave you a little lighter. Gemini, your own presence is the strongest thing you carry today, and everything else can be handled lightly. After yesterday's wider circle of friends and networks, you may still be carrying a little of that outward buzz. Mars now moves through Gemini in the first house from your moon sign, which is your own body, your name, your initiative. So your work goes better when you lead it directly rather than routing it through 5 people. Venus, your period lord, sits weakened in Virgo in the 4th house, the place of home and inner comfort. So keep money decisions modest and domestic today rather than expansive. In relationships, Gemini, this is not a day for a big performance. The exalted moon travels the 12th from your sign, the house of rest, retreat and letting go, and that favors quiet company, honest listening, and forgiving one small thing. Mercury rules you, and connection has always come to you without strain, so use that gift softly. For energy, treat the stretch from 10:46 in the morning to 12:26 in the afternoon as a slower gear and let the evening close early. The day settles inward, exactly where it belongs. Somewhere near you, someone keeps things running unnoticed. Thank them by name, expecting nothing at all. Whatever today asks of you, you have met harder days than this. Cancer, today favors the people who already believe in you, and leaning on that circle is the honest move. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house, 10 of career and public standing. So, you likely felt watched, measured, a little on display. Today, the moon rides exalted in your house 11, the house of gains, friendships, and wider networks, which means work and money move best through a friend, a group, an introduction rather than a solo push. Ask the person who owes you nothing but likes you anyway. In relationships, Venus sits debilitated in Virgo in your house 3 of communication, so your words may land more clipped than you intend today. Cancer, say less and say it warmly. Here is the payoff of that circle. With the Sun, Mercury, and an exalted Jupiter all gathered in Cancer in your first house, your own presence carries the message better than any clever sentence. You are ruled by the moon. You read a room before anyone in it says so, and that is real skill, not softness. For energy, keep tasks light between 10:46 in the morning and 12:26 in the afternoon during Rahu Kala. The gathering closes gently. If someone you know is unwell, sit with them a while and let them set the pace, asking nothing back. Let today be useful rather than perfect. Leo, today your presence does the work for you, and the best thing you can do is let it. Yesterday the moon opened in your 9th house of belief, learning and long journeys, so you may have spent the day thinking in wide arcs rather than in details. Now the moon sits exalted in Taurus in your 10th house, the place of career and public standing, which means your judgment reads clearly to the people who decide things. Speak up in the room where the decision is made. Venus, your period lord, is debilitated in Virgo in your 2nd house of money and speech. So keep spending plain and promises modest today, and let quality speak instead of quantity. Leo, you're ruled by the sun. Your warmth arrives ahead of you before you have spoken, and that is why the plainest version of you lands best. With Rahu in your 7th house of partnership, listen a beat longer before answering. Kritika holds until 6:43 in the evening, a steady window for finishing something. Let the day close as it opened, with presence rather than effort. If you can, Share a meal with someone who is hungry today, quietly, expecting nothing at all in return. Walk gently today and let the day come to you. Virgo, your mind wants the wide view today, and that is exactly where your best thinking lives. Yesterday asked you to sit with shared money and deep change, and that likely felt heavy and inward. Now the moon rides, exalted in Taurus through your ninth house of belief, learning and long journeys. So work questions answer themselves better when you zoom out to the principle rather than the line item. Mars sits in your 10th house of career and casts its full fourth aspect, which supports steady, decisive effort. So pick the one task that moves the whole plan. In relationships, Saturn from your 7th house of partnership sends its full aspect back to you, and that favors patient, honest conversation over quick fixes. Venus, your period lord, is debilitated in your first house, Virgo, so hold yourself gently. Precision is instinct for you, and quiet service is the shape your care takes, but you need not be flawless today. For energy, keep Friday simple and let the Kritika Nakshatra hours before evening carry anything that needs sharp focus. That broad, generous view is the day's gift. Set out a bowl of water for the birds or a street animal, asked of no one, expecting nothing. May today bring you one moment worth remembering. Libra, today rewards a gentler pace and a quieter kind of honesty, and that is exactly where your strength lives. Yesterday, the moon supported you from the house of partnership and close alliances, so conversations likely felt easy and your mind steady. Today, the moon moves into your 8th house, the place of shared resources and deep change, which favors reviewing joint money, dues, and anything held in common rather than launching something new. Look at one shared account or agreement calmly and let the rest wait. Venus rules you, Libra, and you find the balance point in almost any room. Though Venus sits weekend in Virgo in your 12th house of retreat and letting go today. In relationships, that simply means fewer words and more listening. Do not perform, just be present with the person in front of you. On the energy side, Chandrashtama runs for your sign and lifts at 3:48 on Sunday morning. So treat rest as a real task. Keep the day's demands modest and let white and the number 6 anchor small choices. It is a Friday made for tending, not proving. Let the day's care take this shape. Give someone your full, unhurried attention while they speak, asking nothing back. Go easy on yourself today. The stars are patient, and you can be too. Scorpio, today favors the conversation you have been circling because the other person is more ready to meet you than you expect. Yesterday sat in your 6th house of daily work and routine, and your mind carried that load easily. Today the moon is exalted in Taurus in your 7th house, the house of partnership and close alliances. So in work and money, the smart move is shared. Bring one collaborator into a decision instead of solving it alone in silence. Venus, your period lord, sits weekend in Virgo in your 11th house of networks and gains. So keep group promises modest and specific. In relationships, Scorpio, this is where that partnership moon pays off. You go deep where others skim, and your resilience is easy to underestimate. So let someone see the depth rather than only the strength. Mars rules you, and Jupiter, exalted in your 9th house of guidance, casts its full aspect today, supporting a steady, wide view of your energy. Keep the afternoon after the Tithi closes at 4:37 in the afternoon for slower work and rest before the nakshatra changes this evening. The day closes as it opened in company. If someone near you is carrying something heavy, literally or practically, take one end of it, expecting nothing at all. Wishing you a calm and steady day ahead. Sagittarius, today gives your mind an easy competence, and the quiet work you do well is where the day rewards you. Yesterday, the moon opened in your fifth house of creativity and romance, so the mood likely leaned playful and a little scattered. Today, the moon sits exalted in Taurus in your sixth house of daily work, health and routine, which favors clearing the small backlog you have been stepping around. Venus, your period lord, is debilitated in Virgo in your 10th house of career, so let your work speak plainly rather than polishing it for applause. Steady effort lands better than a grand gesture. Mars in your 7th house casts its full aspect, Sagittarius, which can make conversation with a partner or close colleague unusually direct. Ruled by Jupiter, optimism is your default, and the honest search matters to you more than arriving, so meet that directness with curiosity instead of defense. With Saturn in your 4th house, aspecting from home ground, protect rest. An early night keeps this good competence intact, especially after Kritika ends at 6:43 in the evening. The day settles where it began, in useful, unglamorous work. If someone you know has been alone lately, call them or sit with them, wanting nothing back. A free full chart is waiting for you on the website. Let today be simple. That is enough. Capricorn, today favors work that is quietly seen by the people who matter, and that suits you. Yesterday, the moon sat in your 4th house of home, family, and inner ground, so you may have spent the day turned inward, tending your own base. Now the moon moves through your 5th house of creativity, romance, and children, and it lifts the part of you that wants to make something rather than only maintain it. On the work side, Venus, your period lord today, is debilitated in Virgo in your 9th house, so ambition feels less certain of its footing. Keep to the smaller, finishable piece rather than the grand plan, and let this Friday be for craft. Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, and you play the long game by nature, not by discipline, so a slow day costs you nothing. In relationships, the Sun, Mercury, and an exalted Jupiter all gather in your 7th house of partnership, and Jupiter's full aspect returns that goodwill straight back to you. Someone will meet you halfway if you speak first. With Mars in your 6th house, aspecting by its 8th, energy runs in bursts, so rest between them. Today, offer your seat, your place in line, or an unhurried hour to someone who needs it more. May something small go beautifully right for you today. Aquarius, today favors coming back to your own ground and letting your best thinking happen there rather than out in the noise. Yesterday, the moon moved through your 3rd house of courage, siblings, and short journeys, so your mind likely had an easy, forward lift to it. Now the moon sits exalted in Taurus in your 4th house, the place of home, family, and inner footing, and that pulls your attention inward. For work and money, Saturn, your own ruler, moves through your 2nd house of resources and speech, and you think from an angle nobody else tried. So, this is a good window to plan quietly from your desk at home rather than pitch in a crowded room. Your period Lord Venus sits debilitated in Virgo in your 8th house. Aquarius. So, shared money and joint arrangements ask for slower, gentler handling today. Read once more before you agree and keep the tone soft. For energy, let the Krishna Navami Tithi carry you to 4:37 in the afternoon at a steady pace. Then rest properly. The day settles wherever you feel most at home. If someone near you has been struggling to learn something you already understand, sit with them and show them patiently, expecting nothing back. Carry this lightly and have a truly good day. Pisces, your mind is your best tool today, and it carries the day easily. Yesterday, the moon opened in your house of money, possessions, and what you value, so your attention was likely drawn to resources and worth. Today, the moon moves exalted through Taurus in your 3rd house, the house of courage, siblings, and short errands, which favors clear conversation and small brave moves at work. Send the message you have been drafting and keep the practical errand short. Venus, your period lord, sits debilitated in your 7th house of partnership and casts its full 7th aspect back across you, Pisces. So closeness may feel a little effortful today. That is not distance, it is simply a day for gentler expectations, and listening well is enough. Jupiter, your ruler, sits exalted in your 5th house and casts its full 9th aspect and compassion moving you first, while imagination reaches past analysis is a true description of you. Energy holds steady, so pace the day around Kritika, which ends at 6:43 in the evening. The arc here is simple: a bright mind meeting a softer heart. Let the care be practical today. Pass on something useful you no longer need to someone who can use it quietly, expecting nothing back. The day is yours to shape. Shape it kindly. May your day carry a quiet steadiness, whatever it asks of you, and may you meet the people around you with an open, unhurried heart. Take what fits your life today and gently leave the rest. The sky offers weather, and you remain the one who chooses how to walk through it. If there is one small kindness within reach, an unhurried moment of your full attention for someone who needs it, let that be the shape of your day. Thank you for spending these minutes here. If today's sky was useful, subscribing keeps it coming every morning.